The scene in Hoosiers, you got to listen carefully, but you get the idea. It's Norland Mailer's first. It's Norman. What's his name again? I forget his last name. Norman Dale. His first practice for the Hoosiers back for Hickory in 1952, and he's got the big guy in there who thinks he's John Wooden. Listen up.
There you are. I thought we'd go 20 minutes on, 10 off, and 20 on. I had a different schedule in mind. Look, mister, these boys got a routine they're used to. You throw a new coach with newfangled ideas at them, might get them all confused. And we'll ease into it real slow. Hell, our first game's less than 2 weeks away. Well, first of all, let's be real friendly here, okay? My name is Norm. Secondly, your coaching days are over. Look, mister, there's two kinds of dumb. A guy that gets naked and runs out in the snow and barks at the moon, and a guy who does the same thing in my living room. First one don't matter, the second one you kind of forced to deal with. Translate. That's some sort of threat. I don't know why Cletus drug your tired old bones in here. He must have owed you something fierce. Fact is, mister, you start screwing up this team, I'll personally hide strap your ass to a pine rail and send you up the Monon line. Leave the ball, will you, George?
There you go. That's the scene. That is the scene. And George is Scott Wetzel. There's two kinds of dumb. There's the Scott Wetzel good dumb and the Scott Wetzel bad dumb. I can't figure out the Scott Wetzel dumb on Mariano Rivera. If he's just trying to get a call at 1:38 in the morning, I don't know. Or if Scott is trying to actually try to make the case that Mariano is a 8th ballot vote in on the executive committee Hall of Famer. You have to explain that. I love that scene, though. That's a good scene. Whatever. Get the music going, Eddie. It's one of those goofy days. Play that Hoosier music. See if you can find it. Give you something to do. Here's Brad in Long Island, New York, and he's with us here on Mad Dog Unleashed. Brad, good afternoon. How are you today, pal? What do you have?
What's up, bud? How you doing?
Hello, Bradley. What's going on with you? What's on your mind today?
I have a quick just idea that me and a bunch of my cousins were talking about, because we're all basically, me and my friends, we're all split Met Yankee fans. I don't see how this is a no-brainer, but I don't know what the Yankees have in their farm system. Why wouldn't the Mets and Yankees trade Romine for Harvey? You put Harvey in a locker room with a CC Sabathia, and you get your catcher. We have a reclamation project, and I'm going to hang up after I say that last thing. I can't wait to hear your thoughts.
Brad, it's not a terrible thought. Romine's a backup catcher. Mets don't have any catching right now. I think the Mets would be a little afraid of making that trade, because if Harvey ever turned it around with the Yankees, they'd look horrendous. But it's not a bad suggestion. Now, the Yankees wouldn't do it because the Yankees don't need Harvey. So, what do the Yankees need? Why? Because Jordan Montgomery's out for a little while? They don't really need Harvey. So, I don't know if and they need a backup catcher to Sanchez, but it's not a terrible idea. Huck in Missouri got a chance. Huck, your turn. How are you today, pal? What's going on?
No, I'm pretty good. Now, I love you, but I'm going to go here on Wetzel. Now, listen, I'm a big Wetzel guy. Big fan, big supporter. Have been for a long time. And I heard what you said a couple of days ago, and it kind of bothered me a little bit. I know Wetzel's he's a little goofy, and he gets out there and way in left field from time to time. But you know what Scott does, Chris? He entertains me, and he informs me, which is more than I could say for a lot of your shows on.
Listen, nobody's questioning that. I'm just essentially saying, Huck, you can't go on radio, and I know he's a Red Sox fan, and say that Mariano Rivera is not a first ballot Hall of Famer. Nobody's going to take you seriously if you say something like that as a sports talk show host. Now, is he saying it to ignite, to get reaction? I guess, but you got to come up with a better one than that because you need your head examined if you don't think if you follow the sport and you think that Mariano Rivera is not a first ballot Hall of Famer, you're crazy, and you know that better than anybody. So that's the issue. Now, nobody's talking about Scott's ability as a host, or moves the needle, or he knows what he's talking about, or he's been here a long time. Nobody's referring to that. It's the specific comment about Rivera.
Okay, I get that, Chris, and I agree with you. But you got to understand, you don't listen to his show. He's got a ton of Yankee fans on there that he goes back and forth with, and he just tries to get people riled up. But I will say this. Now, he said, and you said 2 days ago, he picked Mississippi State to win a national championship. You can't take somebody seriously. Now, listen, I give him credit for that. Hell, anybody could pick Alabama or Clemson to win the thing. He went out on a limb and took a team he thought would be pretty good. Let's not forget, Chris, you picked the Detroit Tigers to win the World Series last year, and they lost every game but about 3.
Yeah, but
your buddy Steve Torrey, who is on at 1 o'clock, thought that the 18th hole in Augusta was a par 3. Now, how the hell can I take somebody like that seriously?
Listen, we caught Steve. That was me who said it to him, and then he got a little screwed up. So he got a little confused on that. I think he did know that it was a par 4, I think. So we'll give Steve the benefit of the doubt on that. See, the problem with Scott, I agree. Don't pick something different. But he picks Mississippi State because, before they got good in the last 3 or 4 years, there was never a chance they're going to win a national championship. So, if you pick USC, you're not going to get any reaction. If you pick Mississippi State, you'll get reaction. And if they ever have a miracle year, you look like a genius. He picked them long before Dak Prescott. We never that. Not in front of the hour. We continue. Got the music, Eddie? When we come back, we'll play it here on Mad Dog.